Who is David Hume, 1711 to 1776? David Hume was born on May 7, 1711 in Edinburgh, Scotland. He came from a modest family and, despite facing financial difficulties, Hume dedicated himself to the pursuit of knowledge. He studied at the University of Edinburgh, where he initially showed an interest in law, but soon turned to philosophy and literature. Hume is widely recognized as one of the greatest philosophers of the Enlightenment and a central figure in modern philosophy. His skeptical and empiricist approach challenged many of the established ideas of his time, especially those relating to metaphysics and epistemology. In 1739 to 1740, Hume published his seminal work, Treatise of Human Nature, which, although it did not initially receive the attention it deserved, was later recognized as one of the most important contributions to philosophy. In addition to the Treatise of Human Nature, Hume wrote other significant works, such as Moral, Political and Literary Essays, 1741 to 1742, Inquiry into Human Understanding, 1748, and Inquiry into the Principles of Morals, 1748, 1751. In his works, Hume explored themes such as perception, causality, freedom, religion, and morality. His clarity of thought and accessible writing style have made his ideas influential not only among philosophers, but also in fields such as science, economics, and politics. Hume spent the last years of his life in Edinburgh, where he continued to write and revise his works. He died on August 25, 1776, leaving a lasting legacy in philosophy and other areas of knowledge. Empiricism, a philosophical current that maintains that all knowledge is derived from sensory experience, is one of the pillars of Hume's thought. He opposed rationalist notions that certain knowledge is innate or can be acquired independently of experience. For Hume, all ideas derive from lived sensory impressions. These impressions are vivid and strong, while ideas are pale and derived from these impressions. In his work, Treatise of Human Nature, Hume argues that our complex ideas are formed through the combination of simple ideas, which in turn are copies of sensory impressions. This theory challenges traditional metaphysics by denying the existence of innate ideas and questioning the ability of pure reason to acquire knowledge. Hume's skepticism is another central aspect of his philosophy. He is known for his critique of causality, where he argues that our belief in cause and effect is not rationally justified, but based on habit and the constant experience of certain events following others. This skeptical view also extends to religion, where Hume questions the validity of miracles and arguments for the existence of God, suggesting that our religious beliefs are often irrational and based on traditions and feelings rather than solid evidence. Hume's empiricism and skepticism were revolutionary because they challenged the excessive reliance on reason and metaphysics that dominated philosophical thought at the time. Instead, he emphasized the importance of observation and experience, and promoted a more critical and analytical approach to philosophical inquiry. Although David Hume does not declare himself a Stoic, his philosophy contains elements that resonate strongly with certain Stoic principles, particularly in his analyses of human nature and morality. Here are some important connections between Hume's thought and Stoicism. Both Hume and the Stoics emphasize the importance of reason, although in different ways. For the Stoics, reason is the primary tool by which human beings can align their lives with nature and achieve virtue. They believe that reason is fundamental to understanding the order of the world and living in harmony with it. Hume, on the other hand, recognizes the importance of reason, but also highlights its limitations. In his work, Inquiry Concerning Human Understanding, Hume argues that reason alone cannot be the basis of all our beliefs, and that many of our convictions are grounded in habit and experience rather than rational deduction. However, Hume does not rule out reason. He simply places it in a broader context, where sensory experience and feeling also play crucial roles. This balanced approach resonates with the Stoic quest to live a life guided by rational understanding of the world, while recognizing the limits of that understanding. Stoics believe that the virtuous life is a life in accordance with reason and nature. They argue that virtue is sufficient for happiness and that we should seek to live according to principles of self-control, justice, courage, and wisdom. Hume, in his Inquiry into the Principles of Morals, suggests that morality is deeply rooted in human nature and feelings, rather than being exclusively a product of reason. He argues that moral qualities are those that are useful or pleasant both to the person who possesses them and to others. This utilitarian view of morality, although different from Stoic ethics in some aspects, also values the pursuit of a balanced and beneficial life. A notable feature of Stoicism is the acceptance of things that are beyond our control and the emphasis on focusing only on what we can control, our own actions and attitudes. Hume shares a similar view in highlighting the importance of understanding the limitations of human reason and the nature of beliefs formed by experience. He suggests that by accepting these limitations, we can develop a more balanced and realistic approach to life, something that is in line with the Stoic mindset of acceptance and serenity in the face of adversity. The Stoics and Hume recognize the importance of feelings in human life, but they approach it in different ways. While the Stoics defend the control of passions through reason, Hume sees feelings as fundamental to morality. He argues that sympathy and benevolence are natural bases for moral behavior, a view that, although distinct, complements the Stoic emphasis on virtue and social harmony. Although David Hume does not explicitly identify himself as a Stoic, his philosophy contains elements that resonate strongly with certain Stoic principles, particularly in his analyses of human nature and morality. Here are some important connections between Hume's thought and Stoicism. Both Hume and the Stoics emphasize the importance of reason, although in different ways. For the Stoics, reason is the primary tool by which human beings can align their lives with nature and achieve virtue. They believe that reason is fundamental to understanding the order of the world and living in harmony with it. Hume, on the other hand, recognizes the importance of reason, but also highlights its limitations. In his work, Inquiry Concerning Human Understanding, Hume argues that reason alone cannot be the basis of all our beliefs, and that many of our convictions are grounded in habit and experience rather than rational deduction. However, Hume does not rule out reason. He simply places it in a broader context, where sensory experience and feeling also play crucial roles. This balanced approach resonates with the Stoic quest to live a life guided by rational understanding of the world, while recognizing the limits of that understanding. Stoics believe that the virtuous life is a life in accordance with reason and nature. They argue that virtue is sufficient for happiness and that we should seek to live according to principles of self-control, justice, courage, and wisdom. Hume, in his Inquiry into the Principles of Morals, suggests that morality is deeply rooted in human nature and feelings, rather than being exclusively a product of reason. He argues that moral qualities are those that are useful or pleasant both to the person who possesses them and to others. This utilitarian view of morality, although different from Stoic ethics in some aspects, also values the pursuit of a balanced and beneficial life. A notable feature of Stoicism is the acceptance of things that are beyond our control and the emphasis on focusing only on what we can control, our own actions and attitudes. Hume shares a similar view in highlighting the importance of understanding the limitations of human reason and the nature of beliefs formed by experience. He suggests that by accepting these limitations, we can develop a more balanced and realistic approach to life, something that is in line with the Stoic mindset of acceptance and serenity in the face of adversity. The Stoics and Hume recognize the importance of feelings in human life, but they approach it in different ways. While the Stoics defend the control of passions through reason, Hume sees feelings as fundamental to morality. He argues that sympathy and benevolence are natural bases for moral behavior, a view that, although distinct, complements the Stoic emphasis on virtue and social harmony. David Hume is widely known for his scathing critiques of religion, especially in the context of the rationality of religious beliefs. In his work, Dialogues Concerning Natural Religion, published posthumously in 1779, Hume takes a skeptical approach to examining the traditional arguments for the existence of God. He presents his ideas through fictional characters who debate religious topics, allowing for a deep and multifaceted exploration of theological issues. Hume questions the rationality of a posteriori arguments, such as the argument from design, which postulates the existence of an intelligent creator based on the complexity and order of the universe. He argues that these arguments are insufficient to prove the existence of an omnipotent, omniscient, and benevolent God. Hume suggests that the complexity observed in nature can be explained by natural causes and evolutionary processes, which do not require a divine creator. Furthermore, Hume criticizes religious faith, stating that it cannot be justified by reason. In Inquiry into Human Understanding, he argues that miracles, often cited as evidence of the divine, cannot be considered reliable as they are based on testimony that contradicts the laws of nature observed by regular experience. Hume proposes that it is more rational to doubt these testimonies than to believe in events that violate natural laws. This religious skepticism is a fundamental part of Hume's philosophy. It promotes a view where religion must be subjected to the same critical and rational scrutiny that we apply to other areas of knowledge. Hume believes that faith based on reason is untenable, and that religious beliefs are more often the product of tradition and emotion than rigorous logic. Another central area of Hume's philosophy is his theory of morality, which he develops in works such as Inquiry into the Principles of Morals. Unlike many philosophers who argue that morality should be based on reason, Hume argues that it is based on human feelings. Hume proposes that what is morally correct is that which promotes positive feelings, such as sympathy and benevolence. He asserts that our moral responses are based on how actions affect the well-being of others and ourselves. Sympathy, or the ability to identify with the feelings of others, is central to his view of morality. For example, when we see someone in pain, our sympathy leads us to feel compassion, and this emotion motivates us to act morally to alleviate the suffering. This perspective contrasts sharply with the idea that morality can be derived from rational principles. Hume criticizes rationalist moralists for ignoring the fundamental role of emotions in moral decisions. He argues that, without feelings, reason would be unable to motivate any moral action. Reason, according to Hume, must be a slave of the passions, serving to guide and clarify, but not to dictate moral principles. Furthermore, Hume highlights that morality is universal and shared among human beings because everyone has the ability to feel and sympathize. Moral virtues, such as justice and benevolence, are valued because they promote social well-being and harmony. Thus, morality is seen as a natural extension of human feelings, and not as an artificial construction of reason. David Hume, although not explicitly a Stoic, embodies many virtues that are central to Stoicism in his life and work. Next, we explore how the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance manifest themselves in Hume's thought and actions. Hume deeply values the search for true knowledge and understanding the world through experience and critical observation. He rejects abstract metaphysics and focuses on what can be empirically observed and tested. In his Treatise of Human Nature, Hume argues that all our ideas are derived from sensory impressions and that knowledge must be grounded in experience. This rigorous, empiricist approach reflects the Stoic conception of wisdom, which emphasizes true understanding of the world and the ability to discern what is and is not important. Just as the Stoics sought to align their lives with nature and reason, Hume seeks to align his thinking with observable reality and natural laws. Hume's courage manifests itself in his willingness to challenge the philosophical and religious conventions of his time. In a period when religious orthodoxy dominated European thought, Hume had the bravery to question the rational basis of religious beliefs and the validity of miracles. His work, Dialogues on Natural Religion, is a clear example of this intellectual courage. Hume's moral bravery in pursuing the truth regardless of social and professional repercussions exemplifies Stoic courage. The Stoics believed in the importance of defending truth and justice even in the face of adversity, and Hume follows this principle when facing criticism and controversy for his innovative ideas. Hume considers justice to be an essential virtue for social well-being. In his writings on morality and politics, he argues that justice is necessary to establish rules that govern property and interpersonal relationships in a fair and equitable manner. In Inquiry into the Principles of Morals, Hume discusses how justice arises from the need to ensure security and stability in human societies. This view is aligned with the Stoic idea of universal justice, where justice is seen as a fundamental virtue that must be applied impartially to all. Hume recognizes that justice is crucial to social cohesion and to promoting collective happiness and well-being, reflecting the Stoic concern for harmony and order in the community. Temperance, or moderation, is another Stoic virtue that manifests itself in Hume's philosophy. He defends the importance of balance and self-control in human life. Hume argues that a virtuous life requires the ability to control the passions and act in accordance with reason. In his Treatise on Human Nature, he explores how emotional excesses can lead to suffering and how moderation is essential for happiness. The Stoics valued temperance as a way to achieve tranquility and avoid emotional extremes. Hume, by emphasizing the importance of controlling passions and living a balanced life, reflects this Stoic approach, suggesting that true happiness and virtue lie in moderation and balance between reason and emotion. David Hume, although not often categorized as a Stoic political thinker, presents elements in his writings that align with Stoic principles, especially with regard to political liberalism and social reform. Below, we explore how Hume's political thought reflects these influences. Although Hume is not known as an explicit supporter of liberalism, his political writings emphasize the importance of individual freedom and personal responsibility, concepts central to both liberalism and Stoicism. Hume believes that a government must be limited in its scope to avoid tyranny and protect individual freedoms. He argues that political institutions must be structured in a way that promotes justice and freedom while preventing abuses of power. Hume sees individual autonomy as essential to social and economic progress. He argues that individuals, acting in their own self-interest, contribute to the overall well-being of society, an idea that resonates with the Stoic conception that reason and personal responsibility are fundamental to a virtuous life. Thus, while the Stoics value autonomy as a means to achieve personal virtue, Hume applies this autonomy to the political context, suggesting that a just society is one that respects and promotes individual freedom. Furthermore, Hume emphasizes the importance of institutions that guarantee justice and freedom, such as law and checks and balances in government. He argues that such institutions are necessary to maintain order and protect the rights of citizens, aligning with the Stoic view that a well-ordered society is crucial to the practice of virtue. Hume is also known for his critical view of society and his support of social reform. He believes that improving social and economic conditions is fundamental to promoting general well-being. In his essays, Hume analyzes issues such as poverty, education, and inequality, proposing changes that could lead to a more just and equitable society. Hume's approach to social reform is practical and observation-based, reflecting the Stoic commitment to seeking a more balanced and just society. He suggests that public policies should be based on a clear understanding of human and social conditions rather than abstract ideals. Hume defends the importance of policies that promote education and economic opportunity, arguing that these are essential for improving individual and collective well-being. Furthermore, Hume recognizes the interdependence of people in society, an idea that aligns with the Stoic view of global community and human interconnection. He believes that by improving everyone's living conditions, society as a whole becomes stronger and more just. This vision of social reform, centered on promoting the common good through practical and informed actions, resonates deeply with Stoicism. David Hume, although not essentially a Stoic, had a significant influence on the revival of Stoicism in the 20th century. His ideas about empiricism and skepticism helped shape the way modern thinkers approach ethics and practical philosophy, central areas of contemporary Stoicism. The revitalization of Stoicism in the 20th century was largely influenced by Hume's ideas. His emphasis on sensory experience and rational criticism has inspired thinkers to reconsider the relevance of Stoicism to modern life. Hume argued that all knowledge derives from sensory experience, a view that led philosophers to explore how Stoic practices could be adapted to align with a more empirical understanding of the world. Hume also challenged traditional metaphysics and promoted a more practical and observational approach to philosophy. This resonated with the Stoic practice of focusing on what is within our control and living in accordance with reason and nature. By emphasizing the importance of examining and understanding our experiences and emotions, Hume helped pave the way for a reinterpretation of Stoicism that was more aligned with everyday realities and modern challenges. In contemporary Stoicism, Hume's principles are applied in several areas, including psychology and therapy. Modern psychology, for example, has been influenced by Hume's ideas about human nature and the importance of feelings. Hume argued that morality is based on feelings and that emotions play a crucial role in forming our moral judgments. This perspective has been integrated into contemporary Stoicism, which now incorporates a deeper understanding of human emotions. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, a widely used approach in psychology, has roots in both Humean thought and Stoicism. CBT emphasizes the importance of identifying and changing irrational thoughts and behaviors, a practice that aligns with the Stoic idea of cultivating a rational, balanced mind. Furthermore, Hume influenced contemporary ethics by promoting an approach that combines reason and emotion. Modern Stoics apply these ideas to living virtuously, recognizing that while reason should guide our actions, emotions cannot be ignored. Instead, they must be understood and managed rationally. Hume's influence is also evident in the way contemporary Stoics deal with uncertainty and skepticism. Hume's insistence on questioning seemingly obvious truths and critically examining beliefs has been integrated into the Stoic practice of maintaining a skeptical attitude toward external events and focusing on inner tranquility and virtue. Throughout this video, we explore how David Hume's skepticism and empiricism brought valuable insights that resonate with Stoic principles. Hume, with his emphasis on sensory experience and rational criticism, promoted the idea that knowledge should be based on observation and experience, a concept that aligns with the Stoic view of living in accordance with nature and reason. The appreciation of virtue, the search for a balanced life, and the understanding of human nature are aspects in which Hume's thought and Stoicism converge, showing a deep connection between these two philosophical approaches. David Hume left a lasting impact on modern philosophy. His skepticism toward traditional metaphysics and his rigorous analyses of human nature and morality offered a rich and complex view of the world. Hume showed us that morality is deeply rooted in feelings and that reason, although important, is not the only guide to ethical action. His willingness to question established beliefs and explore new frontiers of philosophical thought has made him an influential figure, not only in modern Stoicism, but across several philosophical and scientific disciplines. We hope this video has provided an enriching insight into the life and thought of David Hume and his connection to Stoicism. We encourage you to explore Hume's ideas and Stoic principles deeper, using their wisdom as guides for a virtuous and meaningful life. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Academy for Modern Stoic, for more inspiring and informative content about philosophy, ethics, and personal development. Your journey towards knowledge and virtue has just begun, and we are here to accompany you every step of the way.